Oh man, so I get a lot of questions about the cash envelope method when working with a partner or spouse. The number one thing and piece of advice I can give couples who are wanting to become all cash spenders is there has to be communication. You both have to be on the same page when it comes to the cash envelope method because you have to work together as a team to figure out what's going to work best for you. Maybe some of your categories are left in the checking account and you're tracking them the cashless way, meaning you just have a tracker and you track it as your spend, but your cash is left in the checking account. Husband and wife both have a debit card. If you you decide that the wife does 90% of the shopping, okay, she's in charge of the food envelope, and the husband maybe gets 10% of that for the times the wife calls and says, hey, can you pick up milk on the way home? The reason communication is so important is because the cash envelope method can literally be used and customized 10,000 different ways, depending on the family that is using them and what people are comfortable with. Men tend to not be comfortable holding a pretty cash envelope in like their back pocket, like standing in the lunch line with his guy pals, like whipping out a flower envelope, They tend to like things really simple, easy, and fast. They like to just swipe their debit card, okay, done. Which is why I think I see so many times when I'm dealing with couples is the husband's spending allowance is left in the checking account. He's in charge of the debit card, and then the wife tracks the spending when she gets home. So communication, having weekly or monthly finance meetings is really, really important because then you can sit down and say, hey, I want to start using more cash in the budget and becoming more of an all-cash spender. How can we make this work based on two individuals who might see things differently? Me and my ex-husband, we decided, I went into the marriage thinking that what is yours is in mine and mine is yours type of attitude. His debt became my debt, his debt, vice versa. We had one checking account, one savings account. We had nothing separate. Everything that we had was combined. And even though it was combined, we made one crucial mistake. We never talked about money. We never talked about finances. And the really funny thing about that is we never fought about it either, which shows and tells me we should have cared a whole lot more. If we weren't talking about it, we weren't fighting about it, and there was no conversation about it, like I asked myself, like, how the heck did we even know what was going on half the time if none of that was happening in the household? So we use debit cards. I did not use all cash. I didn't become an all cash spender until like a full-blown all cash spender. Probably I would say in my first week of being on my own as a single mom. I dabbled in the cash envelope method before. I had maybe 4 or 5 different of my categories off and on throughout my paycheck method that had the cash envelopes, but it was nothing consistent like I am today. So it's very true. I'm in a very, very different place than I was when I walked out on my own as a single mom. I think some of the steps that helped me go from this mom who really had no idea of what her future would look like. I mean, not only are we walking out on our own, but for me, I was terrified because my whole entire life, I envisioned being married to my husband. And then all of a sudden that's taken away. And you're left wondering, like, what does my future hold, right? You never were forced to think about it before. I really had to sit down and think about and reprioritize the things that were important to me in my life, for me and my son. I lost who I was when I was married, not just as a woman, as a mom, but as a person. I all of a sudden was so focused on being a good wife, being a good mom, I forgot how to be good to myself. And so stepping back and really thinking about, okay, I'm out on my own. What are the things that are really important to me in the next year? It was getting my own place, finding my own apartment, making sure that my son had a stable environment, making sure that he was doing okay at school and that I was talking to him and learning about the feelings that he was having. So thinking about priorities no longer as a family unit and the lifestyle that you had as a family unit, and realizing that the lifestyle you have now is different.